Hello, everyone, and welcome to the iPad Only show. We are the co authors of the book iPad Only, Augusto Pinaud.
And Michael Sliwinski.
So,
So
how are you today, Michael?
I'm still tired, still a bit jet lagged from my trip to Japan. So I'm still, catching up with all the, things. But I have a great iPad only story that I want to bring to you from Japan.
And I think it's really, really cool that you shared that story directly from Japan. So, tell us the story.
So so I was there. I was on basically on vacation with my wife, but she let me do one event with Nozbe customers, which was very nice of her and very generous of her. So I managed to negotiate a deal with Apple Store Ginza. They have an auditorium. It's in the center of Tokyo, a very nice place, and one of the biggest Apple stores in the world. So they have the auditorium, and they let me use it for my show, for my meeting with customers. And we had the full auditorium, almost more than 70 people. It was really nice. But the cool thing was about the iPad. So as you know, I don't have a Mac when I'm traveling, and I have a Mac in my home office, but that's it. I'm not using my Mac when I'm traveling. So I did the whole presentation in Keynote on the iPad. That was my presentation here in Keynote on the iPad, and and I thought it's going to be pretty fine by putting the presentation from the iPad to the big screen in the auditorium. But I actually thought that they would actually want my presentation and they will copy it to their Mac or something like that. And even worse, my translator, who was supposed to translate simultaneously our presentation, she said that she's not coming. So I had to figure out a way to do that. So what I did, I called up my one of our customer support representatives of Nozbe, Marta. She's responsible for Japanese market. She speaks Japanese, and I asked her out of the blue if she would do the translation with me. She knew the presentation because she saw the slides before and she translated them into Japanese. But apart from that, she wasn't really ready to do the simultaneous translation. And just think about it. She would be in Poland, I will be in Tokyo, and she is supposed to do it via the internet. So really, things that can go wrong, so many things can go wrong, amazing. So, but I'm the boss. I told her to do it. she, she initially refused, but later she said yes, that she would give it a try. Otherwise, I didn't have any other option at this moment. And now the cool thing. So my iPad Air with my keynote presentation, I connected it with the standard dongle, the Lightning to HDMI to connect it to the big screen. So I put the
Right?
presentation in the big screen. But then they also connected, with the jack, they connected the audio to my iPad. And I called her on Skype from my iPad. And she, being in Poland, her computer broke down, so she's also right now iPad only. She works on my our company's old iPad 2. So she was also on the iPad, on the Skype on the iPad. So she received the call. And now, the whole hour long, when we had the presentation and questions and everything, I was doing the presentation from my iPad, and in the same time, I was on the call with her via Skype. So whenever I would say something in English, she would translate it into Japanese, and whatever she would say, it would go to the speakers through my iPad as well. So my iPad was handling the audio conversation with Poland, through Skype, and the keynote presentation and putting it also to the big screen. Everything from my iPad Air.
Still, a lot of people think that the iPad is this underpowered device who came to revolutionize the tablet world in 2010. If you remember, the original one didn't have a camera and it was slow, and yes, it was heavy, but the reality is that the iPad had evolved in an incredible pace. I know somebody who had an original iPad, okay, and he wanted to do certain things, so decided to, instead of to upgrade to an iPad, upgrade to a Toshiba tablet, okay, one of those new
Yeah.
Windows things. And the reason he upgraded to that one is was lighter, was small, had the cameras, and full Windows. And it did. Got the machine, start playing with the machine, and in the first comment this person made was, "Well, the machine is great, but it's not my iPad." And as things start progressing, well, yeah, I can do this now, but It's not my iPad. And the funny thing is, even that this person bought this machine, later on he went back and bought an iPad mini because he was really enjoying the size. He was not enjoying the fact that he missed how much he can do on his old iPad 1. So I really want to follow up with this person how much he's going to be doing now that he's getting an iPad mini, and he's really going to be able to experience some of the things that he never experienced on the evolution of the iPad from 2010 to now.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And that's why, I was actually after the event, everything was done. I was when I just came to realize what just happened, that we actually used only my iPad for everything. I was just blown away. I was like, yeah, this is the coolest iPad only story I have now, right? So
Hey, let me remind you that you wrote a book on an iPad only.
exactly, yeah, yeah. And I had no choice because I didn't have a computer, and things could go wrong. And I even did a demo. So in the same time, in the same time I had the keynote. I was also in the middle of the keynote. I was doing the demo of Nozbe 2.0, of the new version of Nozbe. So also I just switched the app to the Nozbe 2.0 on the iPad, did the demo, came back to keynote, and the Skype connection was live all the time, and kept on with the presentation. Everything was seamless. Everything just worked.
That's really, really nice. That's probably one of our coolest iPad only stories, without any doubt.
So with that, with a happy note, would like to welcome you again to read our iPad Only book and meet us, keep meeting us here on the with the iPad Only show, and to read our blog. We'll blog about it even more. So thank you so much. This was my